This episode was suggested by Goba. Thank you. Another day, another Derby profile. Today's episode is on Grande. Let's go. First up, the stats. Just 3 starts, 2 wins, and 1 second place finish, with earnings of just over $228,000. For major races, he just has 1, a second place finish in the Wood Memorial, which accrued him 50 points and a spot in the Derby starting gate. For running style, in his first 2 starts at Gulfstream Park, he played the role of stalker, being behind usually just 1 horse, and it worked pretty well. But the Wood Memorial, he was forced out of his comfort zone, being sent wide and backwards. Even with a slightly premature move running the far turn and that previous traffic trouble and having to cover more ground than his contemporaries, he ran very well, finishing second only to the much more experienced and hardened horse Rodriguez. And even so, Grande was still slowly making up ground. He was finishing strong, in spite of being clearly outclassed by a much more experienced horse in Rodriguez. A very credible and slightly underappreciated second place finish. For strengths, as I've just talked about, he ran terrifically in the Wood Memorial, which was his stakes debut. That race also indicates that he's improving rapidly. Sure, he did lose his first race in the Wood Memorial, but that race was the first real challenge in his career. His maiden and allowance races were pretty easy races. They were cakewalks. But the Wood Memorial was a stakes race with more than double-digit horses, a huge jump up for such an inexperienced horse such as Grande, and he took it in stride, quite literally, overcoming an imperfect trip to finish strong and get second place. He deserves to be in the Kentucky Derby field. That race clearly suggests that he can handle if things go wrong, which in the Kentucky Derby is something that you have to always be prepared for. And for a horse who has ran as few times as he, having that kind of hardened race under his belt can only be a good thing. It's what differentiates horses like Taiba from horses like Mage. Taiba may have been a Grade 1 winner before the Kentucky Derby, but that race was pretty much handed to him on a silver platter with minimal trouble. Meanwhile, Mage, despite only winning 1 race in his career, overcame lots of trouble in those few races, including in his defeats, proving that he was battle-tested before the Derby starting gates, and it proved perfect for him to win the Kentucky Derby. There is a case to be made that Grande could pull something similar if ideal circumstances are met. But now onto weaknesses. He is inexperienced. At the end of the day, despite his incredible foundation, he is one of the least experienced horses in this field with just 3 career starts. Only 4 horses have won the Kentucky Derby with so few races. Even his trainer Todd Pletcher has admitted that if things were perfect, he would have probably had 1 more start under his belt. Along with that, he is also going to have to be facing the Apollo curse, starting his racing career as a 3-year-old. Now clearly, it's not impossible to overcome such a thing, with Justify and Mage in recent years, but there have been many who have failed between them as we continue down the Kentucky Derby path. It's not easy, but it is something that is plausible. I'd say that overall, Grande is a very good horse, an up-and-comer that should be considered for later races, but I think the Kentucky Derby is just a bit too early in his career for him to win. For that, I give him a B grade. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Derby Profile. Comment down other horses I should cover. We're almost done with this series, just a few more left to go. I'll see you guys next time.